Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Shove and Read. Today I'll be starting off a brand new readathon or reading vlog. Before I get started, if you are new to this channel, please don't hesitate to subscribe down below as well as the notification bell. If you're new to this channel, hi, hello, I'm Stephanie. I talk about bookish things, but let's just get right on to the actual reading vlog. I haven't done this readathon in a while, but this weekend is actually the Escape in 24 Hours readathon, where basically you just kind of tackle books from Friday night to Sunday night and basically just read as many books as you possibly can. There are technically 4 prompts to it, but it's very loose. Like, you don't have to follow if you don't want to. The main purpose is to read a bunch of books. I am going to follow a couple of the prompts and then I'm just going to skirt away from it because I just have books I just want to read. So let's just get on with the books I'm planning to read. I have 4 books on my TBR. Obviously this can change, I can add on, I can deduct, it doesn't really matter. The first book that I'll be reading for this reading vlog is Wondersmith, The Calling of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. This is the second book in the series. I am on page 358, so I'm really just trying to finish up this book during this readathon. I'm really enjoying the series. The issue right now is that I'm debating if I want to continue on with the series. I enjoy it. Like I said, I love the characters, the plot is very engaging, very easy to digest. The issue is that I don't know, I thought this was like a duology or like a trilogy, but that is not necessarily the case. I think there are 4 books. The 4th one comes at the end of 2023, and the way how the book is written in terms of the series, it's basically like adventures. So this, if you tell me this series has like 50 books in the series, I can be like, yeah, makes sense, like that's fine. So I just don't know if I want to continue down a rabbit hole of a potentially very long series, especially because from books 3 to books 4 I think there's like a 2-3 year gap in between publication dates. So I'm a little bit nervous about continuing because I'm like, I don't know like when the next book will come out, if they'll end. Like there's none of that information. At least I didn't see it when I did like a quick research, so I'm a little hesitant, but I definitely want to at least finish this book because I do have this book already, so might as well just finish it. And I'm really enjoying about this girl called Morgan Crow, where she knows that like ever since she was young she was considered as cursed, and the first book follows her escaping her death because everyone knows that cursed children dies at the end of the eventide, which happens every 12 years, but for some reason this year it came early. So at her 11th birthday, aka also eventide, she was basically scheduled to die, and then things happen and she's whisked away to this magical little city called Nevermore. And there she kind of, you know, goes on this adventure, trying to join the society, blah blah blah, and it was really fun. I was really engaged with it. And then this is the second book where it continues on with her adventure in the society. So you know, like I said, that this is why I feel like if this series has like 50 books, I would be like, yeah, like makes sense. There's just so much you can do about the series and her adventures, and uncovering everything. So definitely lots to explore in this series, in this world. So I don't know, but yeah, this is the first book on my TBR. The next one over here is one that I'm a little hesitant because I don't know if I'm in the real mood for this, but at the same time I do need to read this for my book club, which meets next weekend, and that is Venko by Cherie Dimaline. This is actually not the book that we originally picked out for us. We had picked out Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone, but that one just arrived like a week or 2 ago, and it just was too last minute. Like I felt like not everyone can finish the book in time for next week. So we decided to pivot and read this book instead because this is a book that arrived very early on. And to be honest, this book did sound interesting. It's about like this company called Venko and has like witches, like magic in it. It has like Tupperware parties. I don't know. People say that this book is set in the 1950s. Personally, I thought this was in modern day, but I don't think that is the case. But that being said though, I feel like those who have read it have been very lukewarm. So I'm a little hesitant about this book, to be honest, not gonna lie. We'll see. But this is the second book I wish to tackle. And then in terms of my next book, I want to tackle In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. This is a dark that I'm actually going to read in advance. I feel like I'm not very good at this, but this comes out in April and I really want to read this, so we'll see. It's basically about this like mismatched family of like robots and humans, and one day this human uncovers something and it sets an alarm or like this signal, and so now all the robots know where they're located. They come, and I guess like now everyone is in danger. sounds really exciting. I'm pretty interested in it. I really enjoyed his first book, House on Cerulean Sea. Second book was okay, but I still really enjoyed it, so I have very high hopes for this one, and I definitely cannot wait to read this. The last and final book is one that I have been scouring my shelves for a long time because I did not know what to pick up next. And I know 4 books is probably ambitious. I probably won't even finish like 2 of them, but I was like, I want to try something different. And I haven't tackled an older arc in a while. So I'm going to go with Elysium Girls by Kate Pentecost. I don't know why, but I saw this book and I was like, this looks like something I'm in the mood for. It just says, YA fantasy epic clash of witches, gods, and demons as the fate of humanity hangs in the balance. And that's all I know. So these are the 4 books I plan to tackle. In terms of the prompts for the readathon, one of them is a book that has a blue cover, or has blue in the cover, and I'm going to go with Wondersmith because there is this giant blue right here. There's also one that says spring break type of feel, and I'm going to go with In the Lives of Puppets because I don't know why green just reminds me of spring, so this will fulfill that prompt. And then the last prompt that I will be tackling is an author of color, which is actually this book over here, Cherie Demeline. I believe the author is Native American, so definitely a person of color. So these are the 3 books I'll be tackling that will fulfill the prompts. And then this is just a book that I'm just adding on for funsies, and we'll see. I'm also debating about tackling some manga at the same time, but I don't know, it really depends on my mood. I might have it like every once in a while scattered in there because I am going to read it as an ebook format, so I do have my iPad over there for that. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say for this really quick intro, which is not very quick. And then tomorrow I'm gonna go to my friend's place. We're actually doing this readathon together. She's only gonna do a day of it. I'm gonna do the whole weekend, but we're gonna spend the day together at her place and just read and eat. And we're also going to be watching Daisy Jones and the Six because they just released new episodes today, and I think we just need to tackle the next 3 episodes because we watched the first 3 last week. So we might do that like every couple hours. I'm not really sure how that's going to work out yet, but that is the plan in terms of tomorrow. Just be a fun day of reading, eating, and watching shows. And then on Sunday I am getting my hair done finally because this is a fucking mess, and I'm gonna get it chopped off, get it recolored with something else. I don't know, I might go a little bit lighter, I'm not sure yet. But I will be reading during that time too, since it's like 6 hours of just me staring at the mirror. But that's my weekend plans, and I'm excited to see like how much reading I get done. All right, so just a quick update before I head out to my friend's place, because I did manage to finish reading Wondersmith last night by Jessica Townsend. I just devoured this book. It was really freaking good. Honestly, part of me is like, should I really pick up the next book? But at the same time, it's just like I said already, I just don't know when the series will end, and I just don't want to commit too much right now. But I really enjoyed this book, guys. Like, it was really freaking good, so highly recommend that one. And now moving to my second book, which is gonna be Venko over here. I just started, so I'm on page like 2, so definitely not much progress. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but Venko is essentially about this coven about witches. Venko is a company's name that I think like has a bunch of like witches who are the members or like the board members, I don't know. And yeah, like we'll see, but I just remember something about like Tupperware parties and like Mama and Me classes, things like that, and that's how they gather under these like aliases. So I don't know, we'll see, but I'm excited for it, kind of. I don't know, to be honest, I'm not that excited for it. Like, I'm excited to see what it entails. At the same time though, I'm not excited for it because I'm not like super in the mood for that book, but I do have other books in case I'm like just not feeling it. So anyways, I'm gonna pack up some stuff right now and then head over to my friend's place and just have a day of just reading and chilling. Okay, so I'm at my friend's place now, and she's gonna introduce, this is Rhea, and she's gonna introduce, although this is Snow, and she's gonna introduce the books that she is gonna read for the prompts, and then we're gonna get started with all the books that we're gonna read.
Yes. All right, for spring break, springtime, I have Upsy Daisy by Chelsea Edwards. For my author of color, I have With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo.
That's a really good book.
Oh,
5 stars. 5 stars for me.
You're in the way. For my poll pick, Venko for our book club.
So we're reading that at the same time.
And then the book with the blue cover is Bravely. Oh gosh.
I haven't read that one yet, but I do want to read that one.
You are so in the way. You should.
Yeah,
not.
why is she so like? She's like,
you should not have joined this.
All right, we're gonna get to reading now. All right, so I've been reading this book. I'm now on page 46, and we're doing reading sprints at the same time. We're technically in the middle of one, but I just wanted to come on and say this one thing because so this is about like witches and witch hunters, and the witch hunter just got introduced. His name is Jay, and for some reason he is reminding me of the character that Jason Momoa plays in Game of Thrones with his whole like hair description right now. But at the very end he's like, it says over here, he breathed a sigh that ended in a rumbling groan. This was the one he had to stop. He felt it where he felt most serious matters. In his testicles. Why? Why is it like this? Like the writing is so weird. I don't know how I feel about this book.
She wrote it because she could.
Yes, basically. But like, is that what guys think? Like, I don't know, but that's like a weird ass line. And apparently it gets weirder from his perspective, so.
Maybe that's her way of saying guys think with their dick and not their head. Or something like that.
Yeah, but like it's such a weird way to put it, like in his testicles. Like, I feel like it would make more sense if it was like in his balls or something. I don't know, but I mean they both sound terrible. But one sounds better than the other. So we just finished doing 3 sprints, right? Yes. 3 sprints, and now I'm on page 178. So I'm about halfway through this book. All I can say is that this book is written very weirdly. I think that there's been a couple times where it would just jump, and for example there was like a flashback, but that flashback was not very obvious, and suddenly I turned the page and I'm like confused, and I thought someone like came back from the dead. Because of this flashback. So I was like, what's happening here? So I think the writing's a little bit weird and not very confusing, and the witch hunter is just all about like sex. Like every time he's shown up it has something to do with like sexual activities, and then people forget. Yeah, and then people forget, which is also like even more alarming because I feel like in a way it's almost like he's like raping them, but like at the time of, it's clearly with their consent. But then they're just like, oh, nothing happened today. And I'm like, it's a little weird. Like,
it's giving off rape vibes.
Yes, yes. Like, it definitely has some elements there, but I don't know. But yeah, I got to the part, I honestly considered DNFing this book earlier on, but then I got to the part where they're actually going to go into the story of the spoons and like the backstory of how the other witches got their spoons. And I thought that was interesting. So it kept me intrigued enough to continue. I don't know if I'm going to continue this book, to be honest. And then
same.
Yeah, Rhea she took a break from it and now she's reading Bravely. And what page are you on now? 50. So we've been reading, but right now we're taking a break and we're going to watch Daisy Jones and the Six. We're going to catch up on some of the episodes that was released yesterday. I think the plan is to read like a couple hours and then take a break by watching an episode and then back and forth. And we'll see how this goes. Okay, so I'm back with another update. We just went for a walk and now we're back and we're going to try to read as much as we can right now. I'm on page 228 of Venko, so I'm a little over halfway through. I don't know, I feel like the writing for this book for some reason is just all over the place.
Not for me.
It's not, yeah, it's really hard to, I feel, okay, what I've realized is that the way how she does flashbacks is that she will have one sentence saying, oh, I talked about this, you know, this morning with, you know, so-and-so, but then she will further expand on this with actual dialogue and conversation. But if you miss that one sentence, you'll just be so lost because you're like, wait, I thought she was doing something else. Like, why is she suddenly, you know, having a conversation with someone? And it's not very clear, I think. Especially because
aside from when they were doing the individual stories,
yes,
when they gave dates, like,
yes,
I would not have known.
Exactly, like it's very much like within the next sentence kind of situation, so it's very hard to keep track of what she's talking about sometimes with her back and forth, and it's just never, it's just her writing style is just very unclear and it's very confusing. Not the biggest fan, but I might as well just finish it at this point because I think I'm like 100 pages left to go. Okay, we're technically in mid-sprint, but I just managed to finish Venko, so I thought I'd jump on here to let you guys know my thoughts. This book is gonna get like at most 3 stars, probably like 2.5 stars, because the writing was just honestly super off-putting. The ending was okay. I do think the book did pick up towards the last quarter of the book. It definitely was very more fast-paced with everything going on, and it definitely got more interesting there. But for majority of the book, it was just a struggle to get through. I wasn't a big fan of the characters. The only character I really liked was Stella, the grandmother, and the way how the book ended too, I was like, this is the end. I don't know. I have thoughts. Not great thoughts. We'll see. But I am excited to talk about this book with the book club next week, so curious to see how everyone else thought about it. But yeah, I think this is like 2.5 stars at most, 3 stars.
I think last week Rita had started it and she was just like, I'm into it, but I wonder like how far she was in, and I'm thinking, did you get to the testicles line?
Okay, but the testicles line was like super early on though. That was in the first like 3 chapters. So I don't know. I'm really curious to see everyone's thoughts for sure next week though, and see if anyone DNF'd it, because honestly, if I wasn't doing this like readathon and this reading sprints, I probably would have just DNF'd it. But I got to a part and I was like, well, I'm already like pretty much done. Like at this point, it seems like a waste not to finish. So we're here to just wrap things up because it is now like 7:30 at night. We're reading since like 10:30, 11?
11, yeah.
So we've taken some breaks in between, but let's just kind of go through the books that we did finish during this time. So I did manage to finish Venko earlier on, and I gave this book 2.5 stars. A struggle. That's all I can say.
To say the least.
Yeah. And then after that, I picked up volumes 1 and 2 for Fairy Tale on my iPad, and I finished those. Those are like 5 stars. I love the series in general, so I have no issues for that series. And then I didn't get to any of the other 2 books. I'm going to save those 2 for tomorrow, I guess, or maybe tonight when I get back, but that's it.
I got about halfway through Venko before I was just like, the writing's a little off for me. I need a change of pace. So I started Bravely and I finished Bravely like 2 minutes ago. I would say it's a solid 3 stars. I think if I didn't watch the movie before, I probably would have been a lower rating. But the ending just kind of was like, why?
So it's more like a nostalgic factor that you gave it 3 stars?
Yeah.
Okay. So like, in terms of objectively speaking, what would you give that book then?
Probably 2.5.
2.5? Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
2.5, yeah.
Then we both read some very, not the greatest book. 2.5 stars. 2.5, 3 because of her nostalgia.
3 for generosity. 3 for nostalgia.
Maybe at least I picked up my manga and that kind of helped a little bit.
I think it was the ending that really was just kind of like, you didn't have to go in that direction. Just because, just based on the first one, it kind of goes against her as a character. So it's just like, oh, why did you write the ending like that?
But it still follows Merida, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's more focused on her family as a whole versus the relationship with her and just her mom.
I see. Okay. I mean, that's on my TBR list, so we'll see when I get to that, but it's kind of sad that you only gave it like,
I know.
such a low rating.
And I love Disney, so I was just like, I thought it was gonna be better.
Okay, well, I'm excited for you to finish this book and see. I'm
not excited to finish.
I mean, I'm more excited to see what your thoughts are if you do finish it.
Well, I feel like we're pretty on par, like,
so far
with how it's been.
Yeah, true.
So, I mean, I'll finish it, but
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to feel the exact same
Oh.
way about it.
Yeah, it was definitely a struggle to get through. I think, honestly, like I said already, if it wasn't for this day, I don't think I would have. I would just DNF'd it. I think it's just kind of boring.
Yeah,
and, like, the writing's just not. I don't know. The writing's weird.
I think because I was reading this also today,
Yeah.
I wanted to give this one a higher rating just because the writing was
Better.
Yeah, this one was just choppy all over the place.
Yeah.
And I feel like the author had a very much like a why not type of attitude writing, where I felt that some of it's just not necessary.
Okay, she just spilled drool all over me. Okay. She's like, I'm the main character.
She's just like, I can tell that I'm not in the frame.
You are in the frame. You are most definitely in the frame. She's like heavy breathing. But would you call it a success?
I would, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I haven't finished a book in a day in a really long time.
You're about to finish 2. I mean, you might even still finish 2 tonight.
Yeah.
We'll see. Alright guys, ignore my hair, ignore my mess. I'm actually like rushing out in a couple minutes, but I wanted to give you an update on my reading because I did manage to finish volume 3 last night of Fairy Tale. Really enjoy it, 5 stars. So that means I've total read a number of 5 books for this readathon. Now, I'm gonna head out in a couple of minutes to go to my hair appointment, hence the messy hair, because I think you're not supposed to wash your hair like if you're supposed to wash it today, and I'm supposed to wash it today, but obviously they're gonna wash it in like an hour, so I'm like, why wash my hair? So hair's a mess, but at least I get that fixed. And I think I'm just gonna go with like a lighter color this time, a couple shades lighter for my balayage, and then I'm gonna get like side bangs again because I haven't had that in forever and I kind of miss it. I feel like bangs are kind of back, so I don't know. I think I'm gonna do that. I want to ask them for their opinion though and see like what they think is best look on me. But yeah, I think my goal today is to read In the Lives of Puppets, which I will bring with me to the hair salon, as well as my iPad, so I can do some more fairy tale reading. And we'll see how many books I get through from that. And then tonight, I'm supposed to go to this like Oscar party that my boyfriend's friend is hosting. The issue right now is that I think it starts pretty early, and I'm just like making sure if I can get there on time with my hair appointment, because I was like, this hair appointment was made like months ago and this Oscar party was decided like a couple of days ago, so I'm like not gonna like reschedule or anything. So I'm gonna see if I can make it. Worst case scenario, I can either not go. Okay, Jobu, what are you doing? Why are you on top of me? What is happening? Hello? Okay. Are you done? She's in heat right now. We haven't gotten her fixed yet, so she's been like kind of crazy the past 2 days. Look at that. Hello? Hello? But anyways, so that's the issue, is just making sure if I can get it. Worst case scenario, either I just show up late because my boyfriend wants to get there on time, or I just don't go. So it really depends on how I feel at the end of the day. Also like if I can even make it in the first place. Hey guys, just doing a super quick update again, once again. So right now, obviously I got my hair done. It's looking so much lighter than before, and I got this like pink undertone, and I'm rushing off to this Oscar watch party right now, which I'm wearing this like black dress. But I'm also making some food because I don't know if there's like food gonna be there or if it's like good food, and I haven't eaten since like 8 a.m. so I'm going to try to eat something very quickly before my boyfriend gets here in like 20 minutes, and I'm just updating you guys at the same time. So I did read a little bit, quite a bit actually, at this hair salon. I did pick up this book. I'm now on page 116. I'm enjoying it. I feel like it's okay. It's a little bit slow, but the characters are just a riot, especially the nurse robot. Oh my god, like every time I see her, it's like very like dry humor, which is totally my style. At the same time though, I do think that's a little overdone with her humor. Please exclude all like the exploding noises. It's the stuff in the microwave that's just popping off. So I don't know, I feel like right now her balance is just not there. Like she's a little too over the top sometimes, and it's just like, I don't know, I love her humor, but it's just too much, you know what I mean? Other than that though, love the other characters. Rambo is so freaking hilarious and so endearing. But yeah, that's for this book. And then in terms of my manga, I did read volumes, I don't remember where I last finished, but I did manage to finish volume 9. So as of right now, my grand total is 11 books that I finished, 9 manga and 2 physical books, and I'm still reading this one. So I'm gonna try to read a little bit more tonight after I get back, depending what time, and then I'll do a final wrap up tomorrow. All right, I think this is a little bit tilted, but it is what it is. And okay, she's been trying to get my attention this entire time. Also, if you guys know any good like spaying or neutering type of place to go to that doesn't cost like $1,000, please let me know. My boyfriend and I have been looking for like a place to go to, and I don't know why, but they're all charging us like $700 to $1,000 for per cat, and we're just like, why. And I remember them being like $100 to $200. So if you guys know any like affordable places for spaying, please let us know, because we have been kind of like, I mean, to be honest, we haven't been looking like every day, but we have been looking here and there, and we've been asking around, and like, I don't know why. Or they'll be like, oh, here's some affordable places, but then you'd be in a wait list, and those wait lists are really for those who are just trapping, like TNR, like trapping and releasing these cats, so they're like back in the wild on the streets, but like they can get pregnant kind of situation. They're not really prioritizing like house cats, even though we did get them from the streets. Like we literally got them from a garage, like from they were feral kittens. But yeah, let us know. So anyways, she's still in heat. Clearly she's been very affectionate, and she's been wanting my attention all the time, and now she leaves finally. Okay, back to my reading. So I'm just doing a quick update on my reading and like outro now, overview of what I've been doing and what I've read. So I did not read yesterday afterward. Oh, I read a little bit after, but I got home pretty late, and then I was just hanging out with my boyfriend for a little bit, and then he left, and then by that point I was like just very tired and wanted to sleep, because I haven't been home like all day. So I didn't read a lot after that, but that's it. I didn't read any more mangas, nothing like that. So let me just kind of go through what I have read during this weekend. So the first book I finished is Wondersmith by Jessica Townsend. This book I gave, I think, like 4 stars. Really freaking good book. I really enjoyed it. Then the next book I finished is Venko by Shari Dimeline. This is a book that I gave like 2.5 stars. It really was not the greatest. The writing was just really off, and I don't know, it just really aggravated me like throughout the book. And it wasn't just me, because my friend who also read it like during the same time as me didn't like it. So we just been struggling with the writing style and like the back and forth of the writing, and it was like a mess, to be quite honest. The characters are okay, nothing super enticing. I think Stella, the grandmother, was probably by far the most interesting character. Everyone else was just, you know, take it or leave it type of person. But I did read it for my book club, so at least I finished that. Very happy. Then the next books I finished volumes 1 to 9 for Fairy Tale, which were amazing, 5-star reads all the way. I really enjoyed it. Like I really love the anime, and yeah, like it was just fun to go back into it. I feel the anime did end, but I don't think it was like a real conclusion, so that's why I wanted to like tackle the manga and see like what the actual ending is, because I hate how like anime, they will like end but then they never actually end. And even like when they do end finally, like Bleach for example, like they didn't do a like updated anime or like a follow-up season of the final arc until like 10 years later. And I feel like that says a lot about, you know, anime and manga in general, where the manga had been done for years and years, and you know, the anime was just released like a couple months ago. So that's why I was like, I need to read the manga and see for myself, because I do not trust the anime adapters to like get that done like soon. So I did read that, really enjoyed it, love all the characters, Lucy, Natsu, Urza, like Gray. Like honestly, like right now I'm still in the very beginnings of the soul journey, and it's kind of fun to just see how they all get together, because obviously as the story progresses, like there's definitely a clique that forms, and right now they're kind of just accumulating all these like characters that haven't been in Fairy Tail in the beginning. For example, Lucy wasn't in Fairy Tail in the beginning, and then she like, you know, got added on early on, and then she's going through all these like journeys and adventures, and it's just such a fun read. Like such a good book. Then I picked up In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. I picked this up I think starting yesterday, and I did read a chapter, so now I'm on page 132. So I still need to finish this book, but I would say that so far House of the Cerulean Sea is by far the best book of all the ones I've read from this author. I'm waffling between the second right now, because obviously I finished one, which is the Under the Whispering Door. That one was an okay read. I still enjoyed it. I think I gave it like 4 stars. This one so far, I feel like it's gonna fall around that same vein, like 4-star type of book, because I don't know, like even though it's very like whimsical and whatnot and kind of a cozy read, there's just something about it that is like not really doing it for me. And I think it's partially because of the humor, and I feel like the author is just like going overboard with all the humor in there. For example, like Nurse, I said this already yesterday, but Nurse, I love her humor, but it's like to the point where I'm like, okay, I feel like you're just kind of being redundant here. It's a little too much. And Rambo is the other robot, and he's super endearing, but like at the same time, like after a while he's starting to seem like a little annoying, because he's just like, I don't know, like he's very endearing, but just like it needs to keep it that way. It can't like overdo it. And I feel like the author is just overdoing all of their characters to the point that it's starting to get like aggravating, and I think that's like my biggest struggle right now. But other than that though, like I really enjoyed it. Like I feel like if the author did a good job at managing some of their, oh my god, my hair, managing some of their characteristics and personalities so they're not just like overboard and overdone, I think this could be like amazing. But that's just not the case right now. And it's really just those two, because I feel like everyone else is just fine. Like Dad is just, you know, he's there but not super big. Victor is the other super main character. I think he's a main character. He is like one of those awkward guys who is an adult, but that's also because he like grew up with a house of robots, so he's still learning a lot about himself as a human, because he is the outsider basically. Like he's the one that doesn't fit in, so he has to do all these things that the robots doesn't have to do, like go to the bathroom, take a shower, sleep, eat, things like that. And sometimes the robots are just like, why do you have to do all that? Like, what are you doing? And then they just don't understand like privacy and boundaries sometimes, and it's kind of funny, but at the same time I'm just like, I don't know. So that's why I'm like, this book is just like, House of Resiliency is just such a amazing read that I feel like ever since then he hasn't been able to hit that target. But yeah, I'm still going to continue on with it. It's definitely a little bit slow though. It's definitely not like a fast-paced type of book at all. So that's what I'm going to say for this video and what the books I've read. Basically, I managed to finish 11 books, 9 manga and 2 physical books, and then, well, one of them I was already like almost done, but still, either way I'm still gonna count that just to make myself feel better. So I managed to finish 9 books, and I'm like a third way into my next book. So I think overall pretty successful. The mangas definitely helped break up the monotony of the books I was reading, because they're just so much more fun sometimes. Like the drawings, the humor, the angst, the adventure, like just really out there sometimes, and it's just a good time. So I'm gonna say for this video and this readathon, let me know down below if you have read any of these books before, and if you have, what do you guys think about it? Let me know what I should do about the whole like Morgan Crow Nevermore series, because should I continue with it? I don't know. I feel like I should just circle back a couple years later and just be like, is it done? Is it not done? But if you have read the series, let me know what you guys think about it. But as always, if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. I just have on my channel. And if you like to see more content of me, please don't hesitate to subscribe down below, as well as the notification bell. And as always, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.